or as some of you may know it under the other title, Make Them Die Slowly. Now, not only is the cover just completely awesome for this, and just that alone, you know, with the machete there, the guy with the machete, I guess it's one of the cannibals there with a machete, and the woman, the scantily clad woman laying there screaming. There's another woman getting stabbed, it looks like, in the background. The artwork is just fantastic for this one. But there are a couple of other elements that would probably make most people that are at least into these types of films want to pick it up and either rent it or purchase it. And one is that this little thing that they've used numerous times on other movies I've seen since, banned in 31 countries. I remember seeing this video under the title Make Them Die Slowly at my local video store when I was, probably about 13, 14 years old. And let me tell you, when I saw that banned in 31 countries, yeah, I know, I was 13, 14 years old. I probably didn't know better. Now, I probably wouldn't pay as much attention, but at that age, something that said banned in 31 countries, I was like, wow, this must be really a great movie for horror fans to watch. The other little warning on here that I like and has been used numerous times on later films, it says, due to the shocking and violent subject matter, no one under 17 should view this film. And while that's probably true, it became kind of a, I guess, sort of a cliche to put those kind of warnings on films, primarily just to get people to rent them or buy them. And the same as the banned in 31 countries. If you could put more countries that it was banned in, the better. So, that's Campbell Ferox. The next one is Cheerleader Camp. And there's just something about these covers that have a person that looks human except for their face, and then the face is a skull with hair or whatever. And this is one of those images. And I think it's really creative, or at least it was creative at that time, to do this kind of artwork. And I'm sure now that, you know, things in the art world have progressed, and graphic arts and things like that, that this is probably not as astounding as it once was. But back when this movie came out, I thought this was a really good cover, and it definitely made me want to rent it. And it also has the give me a K, give me an I, give me an L, give me an L for kill. The remainder of the cover just looks like a typical 80s teen comedy. But when you add the skull-faced cheerleader to the rest of the picture, it just adds something unsettling to it. I mean, you can look at that and know it's not an 80s teen comedy. And this Cheerleader Camp is another one that's not, it's not an astounding film, and in my opinion, some of the comedic elements go a little bit overboard, and they could have played off more of the horror elements, and I think it would have been a better film. But it's not a completely horrible film. It's not a complete waste of your time. If you like slashers, you're probably going to like this one. But what I'm saying is the cover would make you rent this thing or buy this thing before reading the back of the case. Okay. The next one is Chopping Mall. And yes, this is another kind of cheesy Roger Corman-esque type film. And I believe Roger Corman even had something to do with this. Roger Corman and his daughter both helped get this movie made. And it's basically a movie about killer robots. But what I really like about this cover is the fact that the shopping bag is held in the robot's hand, and you see a head in there that's screaming. There's hands and eyeballs and a nose and fingers and all that, and a foot in there. And it says, where shopping can cost you an arm and a leg. This is another one that even before you read what the movie's about, heck, you've got robots, and it's obvious that they're killing people, and it takes place at a mall. And there's a lot, to me, there's a lot to work with there. And granted, the movie could have been made better, it could have been made with better actors, but, you know, it's still a decent movie, a way to waste an hour and 30 minutes on a weekend, and you'll still have fun with it. So that's Shopping Mall. The next one is The Evil Dead. And let me tell you, even though I saw Evil Dead 2 before I saw The Evil Dead, I had saw this cover many, many times in my local video store. And whoever Sam Raimi had to do the artwork for this case, number one, Sam Raimi knew exactly what he was doing, and number two, the person that did the actual artwork knew exactly what they were doing, because even though the woman that is shown in this image is not in the film at all, just look at the setup. I mean, you got a woman like she's trying to get escape, and she's being pulled underground by this demon hand, and there's a wooden stick cross in the background, and it's just really, really creepy. And based on that image alone, I mean, even if I hadn't seen Evil Dead 2, I would have definitely picked this up, because that is just it's a bizarre artwork, but it works. And it works for a horror film because it has all the elements there. It has a brooding atmosphere. It has an attractive looking woman trying to escape from some kind of demon. Plus it's got the splashy red text that says The Evil Dead on there. I mean, how could you go wrong with something like this? Okay. The next one is Happy Birthday to Me. And this is another one I remember seeing. I actually didn't see it on video for the first time in a video store. I was actually in a store, I don't know how many of you have Bueller's Bylos around or even remember any Bueller's Bylos, but the particular Bueller's that I frequented a lot when I was a kid had videos that you could rent for a long time. And that's where I first saw the VHS for Happy Birthday to Me. And although this is not an exact duplicate of that cover, it is very similar to that. I think they've done some adjustments to it. But I remember seeing this cover of the shish kebab going into this guy's mouth. I was like, that is just awesome. That I have to rent this. Now, it had actually a different tagline on the front that actually made me want to buy it, or to rent it rather. And that was something about 6 of the most bizarre murders you will ever see. That, coupled with this picture, made this a prime rental for me at the time.